Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch, welcome back to the Bodybuilding News Network for another installment of Bodybuilding Today, where we talk about all things hot topic and trending in the world of bodybuilding. As Totoro chews on my cable, hopefully he doesn't break it. We have some genuinely very exciting news here for today's episode. New money, new sponsors, 2 new sponsors for the men's open division for the entire year, I assume, of 2024. It wasn't specifically mentioned in the video, and other things coming into the Arnold Classic. So if you're interested, stay tuned, consider subscribing. But let's jump into Daniel over at Bodybuilders Without Borders, reposting a physique update from Hadi Choopan around 4 weeks out from the Arnold Classic. Now, I'm going to start off and say that, yes, this is very impressive. Hadi looks phenomenal. One of the comments said, hey, this guy looks so 3D and bubbly, and he doesn't even have his tan on yet. And he still has 4 more weeks to dial it in. I would agree, but I will continue to say until Hadi gets into the United States, I'm worried. Because he hasn't competed in anything except the Mr. Olympia in the last 4 or 5 years. So there's a huge chance that the visa process does not go through, because I don't know how early you have to put your notification in to get that approved, but I'm sure that Evo Jin and Hani and his team over there with Hadi's team as well, they plan this out a year in advance, because they know they're going to the Olympia forever, because he's qualified, because he won the Olympia last year. So I'm genuinely concerned. Minus that, I think he looks phenomenal. I think he looks absolutely ready. The midsection is kind of something I'm still looking at, but he still has a lot of time, ladies and gentlemen. The same with Samson Dauda as we shift over to his updates. He's not really showing too much, but Samson's a guy that shows this detail of physique updates every week in and week out. So this is exactly what we expect from Samson and his team, Milos and those guys getting ready for this Arnold. And I did see on another channel, putting a lot of emphasis on this hamstring, and I don't believe that's the one he injured. I thought they said that it was his right hamstring that he injured, but nevertheless, I mean, if you can tear a hamstring and still continue your prep and still train and still look phenomenal the way Samson's doing, then it's either not as big of a deal as people were making it out to be. It could have been maybe an excuse to be like, oh, well, he lost because he, hurt his hamstring, or Samson's just a freak and it wasn't a big deal. So genuinely, looking at the physique update before we switch over, he looks phenomenal, and I think he's going to definitely be pushing Hadi for that 1 and 2 spot. Now, this one is an interesting conversation I genuinely want to have with you, ladies and gentlemen, is when you look at Rafael Brandao and you look at horse.md, shout out to Buys and Tries, they followed me on Instagram, so that's always cool to see. But when you look at these 2 gentlemen, is there any possibility of Marcelo D'Angelo, horse.md, is there any chance of him beating Rafael Brandao? Is there any muscle? Is there any shots? Is there any comparisons, do you think, that are relatively close that would make this exciting? You've got the 1 and 2. You've got Hadi versus Samson. But do we have a conversation here of horse.md versus Rafael Brandao in the reality that maybe Horse can win a couple shots or enough shots to win? That's my thought. That's my question to you. Moving into Classic real quick, we have wesleyvissers, again, Buys and Tries, shout out, posting some more physique updates, and Buys and Tries reposting it. And this is the conversation around this gentleman is, I think he's a top 5 guy here. There's a lot of great physiques. There's a lot of phenomenal competitors coming into this lineup, but genuinely, and genuinely, I think that Wesley has done the work. He's going to come into this show with a physique that is going to be competitive, and it's going to be comparable to other gentlemen in this top 5. Now, the huge conversation is Ramon, Urs, Breon. But outside that top 3, I genuinely believe that it is quite open. Now, someone who is not in a conversation for top 3, but we really don't know what to expect from moving back into the men's open, is Mohamed Shaban. Now, back to Daniel over at Bodybuilders Without Borders, he's kind of putting this guy in your dark horse pick, and I completely agree. We haven't really seen a lot of updates from Mohammed Shaban, or Mo, he goes by on Instagram. The only thing we've really seen from this guy is vacuum shots, him showing off the new and improved midsection and the new and improved taper of that abdominal cavity. Now, I like this look. I think that this is going to help him in his placings. He's won pro shows before. He's going to continue to win pro shows in the future. But I genuinely would like to see more physique updates from him. Same with someone like Akeem Williams. We haven't seen anything from him. And I genuinely would not be surprised if he drops out. The guy just isn't posting anything. And the last time we saw him, he was not really looking like he was going to be ready. Now, moving into probably one of the title stories of today's episode is Tyler Mannion, the IFBB vice president, not the athletes rep making this announcement about athletes. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, or maybe just the athlete rep is a thing that you can say you are when it matters, when it benefits you, Bob. Anywho, moving into this update, I'm actually genuinely excited. When you look at this, you've got Extract, or you have Guy Cisternino's supplement company, or his CBD company, or I don't know. I don't know what I can say on YouTube when it comes to that sort of stuff. But it looks like Guy and the Fit 45. I'm not too familiar with them. I thought it was like a gym franchise. Those two companies have come together to increase the minimum prize money for men's open bodybuilding shows, for the winners being $10,000 to it being $15,000 in 2024, assuming it is taking effect this coming year, coming into the Detroit Pro and things like that. Now, there was a lot of pros that have been around the circuit for a while, saying, hey, not even 10, 15 years ago, the prize money was $20,000. So why are we making a big deal out of us not even getting back to where we used to be? Now, I agree. I think that there is a lot of validity to that, ladies and gentlemen, but I like to focus on the positives. The money is going up. The athletes are getting more money back in their pockets so that they can continue to do the best that they can coming into these preps, and doing the best they can with the blood work, and making sure that they're doing the most healthy way coming into these shows. Sure, I'd like to see more money. I'm hoping Tyler and the rest of the Mannions family aren't pocketing a boatload of money. I hope that's not happening. There's not a lot of transparency in the league, so we really don't know what's going on at the top, but I'm excited to see this news update. I'm excited to see the money. That's the news for today, ladies and gentlemen. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.